Our story begins over 300 years ago, with two regiments of foot or infantry, the 34th of Foot, formed or raised in 1702, and the 55th of Foot, raised in 1755. These were the days before a police force in Britain, so the army played an important part in keeping the peace at home. In 1745, the 34th helped to defeat the Jacobites, rebels trying to put Bonnie Prince Charlie on the British throne. The regiment marched across the country to cut off the Jacobites' retreat, and Carlisle Castle became a prison for captured rebels. The regiment then faced the main Jacobite army at the Battle of Culloden. Thousands of rebels fell that day, but the 34th lost only 3 men. But the army's main job was protecting Britain's interests overseas, and it took our regiments to almost every part of the world. These overseas postings were long, hard and dangerous, sometimes before they even landed on foreign soil. When the 34th was sent to Gibraltar in 1727, over 400 men were shipwrecked in violent storms. Things were often no better ashore, with filthy living quarters and inadequate supplies. Even worse perhaps, they faced extreme climates few would have been used to. In the war against Napoleon in Spain, 2 men of the 34th died of heat stroke in a single day, whilst many of the 55th, retreating from Holland, froze to death. No wonder soldiers were often listed as worn out when they left the army. During the years ahead, things didn't much improve. In 1821, the 55th left for South Africa before being posted to India, then on to China. After the war in China, and a staggering 23 years abroad, the regiment was due to sail home. But many soldiers had lost any connection with Britain and changed regiment so they could stay in the Far East. Of those who did choose to return, over half never made it back. They died of fever while waiting for their ship home. In the face of all that, it's perhaps surprising that they were able to fight at all, but they earned a reputation for bravery in tough conditions, even in defeat. As British forces withdrew from the Battle of Fontenoy in 1745, the 34th's courage in covering the retreat saved countless lives and won them the right to wear a laurel wreath on their colours and badges. Over 60 years later, the 34th were once again fighting the French, and this time they captured a set of the enemy's drums at Arroyo dos Molinos in Spain. The 55th made a name for itself in the Opium Wars against China in the early 1840s. The dragon on its colours and badges commemorates the capture of an imperial dragon standard at the Battle of Chusan by Ensign Butler. He fared rather better than Ensign Jewell, who was shot dead carrying the 55th's own colours. He'd only been promoted that morning. In spite of their heroism abroad, the army wasn't popular at home. Soldiers were seen as unruly, even dangerous. But that would change with the Crimean War in the 1850s. The invention of photography and the electric telegraph meant the reports from the front, often with pictures, could now reach home in days rather than weeks or months. Suddenly, the public felt a real connection with the troops, at a time when more men were dying from disease and illness than at the hands of the enemy. And this public interest would help bring sweeping changes to the regiments in the years to come.